Hello. Isabella Taylor has been interviewing South Australians who are at the top of their field to inspire other young children to chase their dreams. At only 12 years of old, and just turned 12, she already has her own TV show on Channel 44 called Inspired By, and is quickly becoming an inspiration herself. So, let's meet her. Hi, Isabella.
Hi, Malcolm. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's good that you could come. Now, I think... No, you're not quite the youngest person I've interviewed on the program, but you're the only young person I've ever interviewed on the program who has their own TV show. Why? Why have you got your own TV show?
Well, when my mum was reading me stories that really used to excite me, and they gave you the feeling that you could take on anything and be able to achieve it. And I thought, I want to share that feeling with other people. So we decided to make episodes that with inspirational people, and our first one was in the beautiful Barossa Valley with Maggie Beer.
Right. Was she good?
Very good.
Did she cook you anything?
No, we didn't quite have time for that, but we got to...
What a shame.
Yeah, but before we got to meet the turtles, and we also got to see all the peacocks, which was really gorgeous.
Fantastic. But did you, but when you were a little kid, did you sort of watch TV and think, I think I'd like to be there?
Yeah, especially with the scenery, because they've always filmed stuff in scenic places.
Oh, okay, yes,
Yeah.
when they're outdoor filming.
Yeah, definitely.
But when you're in a studio filming, it's sort of course, this is my house, you know that, it's my house, it looks like this. No, you film in your house though sometimes, don't you?
Yes.
Now, obviously, you didn't set all this up yourself. You didn't do the camera work or the editing or finding the guests or any of those things. How did it all happen?
So I've got to give a big shout out to my mum and dad and my grandparents. So my dad does all the filming. He's a whiz at tech. My mum helps work out what the questions would be with me and all the research. And we usually come across people through like interest. So we notice that this person's doing something really cool. It's a gap that we haven't looked into. It has value for the young people.
Right. Well, not only for the young people, because the questions you ask are quite intelligent questions, and clearly an adult watching the program would get the same as I think as somebody your age, or even younger than you.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, your mum has put together a bit about your life, and we can actually see you growing up during this period. And there's a clip here of this with Maggie Beer, so let's have a look.
Yes, it's funny, isn't it? Sometimes that happens. When it's a natural thing, it's going to happen anyhow. I just love it. Heavens above, I need a hug. Oh!
I think the really important thing is you've got to follow what you like. You have to learn to know what inspires you or excites you and makes you happy. And if you can pursue that and follow that, then that will take you on a journey.
Surround yourself with good people, because it's the people around you that will help you in life, and you will also help them. So it's really important how you select your friends. It's really important how you select the people that are helping you in your dream. It's really, really important.
Do it because you love doing it, and don't do it for any other reason. Someone wants you to do it, or you think you're going to be famous. You know, it doesn't work. It's too damn hard. Do it because you love it, and things come easy, a lot easier to you.
My advice is to just do it. If you're passionate about something, just go and do it. The only thing that's stopping you is you.
So, how was that for your tour of Lot 14?
Really fun.
I'd say thanks for coming, Isabella. I had a great time too talking to you.
Thank you. How was it meeting Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple?
It was pretty crazy. It was pretty surreal. I know there's a video of it, and you just see my head kind of whip around, because he does that every year. He meets with 10 or so students.
I guess it's just the question being asked, to be able to say the thing that they're passionate about, whether that's fixing cars or working with wood or telling a story or catching a ball or designing a beautiful picture. Like it could be anything at all.
I still find acting really scary. I think it's probably because I'm scared of it, but I love it.
Have all the challenges that you have faced thus far in following your dreams been worthwhile?
Absolutely. I think they've been sometimes more important than the successes. I think that they're the time you really grow a lot. You learn a lot from the failures or the bits that don't go right.
What I've learned is that you need to be exposed to a lot of things. You need to try many, many things in your life. Doesn't matter what it is, okay? One day you will try something and it will feel right. You'll feel like, oh wow, I was born for this. I was born to make a difference in this. That point in time, you have to go for it.
And that's the name of the show, Inspired By.
Yes.
So who came up with the name?
Well, it was all a bit of a group decision. We thought, well, what are we doing? We're inspiring people.
It's a family group decision.
Yes.
Yep.
So Inspired By, it gives it room to add the person's name on, inspired by X name or whatever.
Yes.
And it just...
Maggie Beer, for example.
Yes, definitely. Inspired by Maggie Beer. And then people get the idea it's about how to follow your dreams and advice in the food industry and things like that.
Right. But you did a painting for her?
Yes.
How old were you then?
6.
So you've been doing this for 6 years? Pretty much?
Yes.
Pretty amazing. Were you nervous meeting people, or did it just feel like a natural thing in life to do?
The first interview, it was because when you're younger, your patience levels are very low. The drive to the Barossa felt like 4 hours. So the nervous build-up over that time was really very intense. And I've never done it before, so I
Never driven to the Barossa before?
Never driven
by
to
yourself in the car?
No, Dad was driving that day, but I didn't know what to expect with an interview. I'd seen other people interview, but I'd never done it before. And after that, it was really easy. It was just like welcoming someone for dinner or something like that.
It is really, and I think the true art of interviewing people is to actually be interested. You know, I'm really interested in what people say. It's great. Okay, so you were 6. Now, you wouldn't have been able to suss out all those questions by yourself. And Mum obviously wrote a script for you, and we're going to meet her in a minute too. So, well, you know her already, but we're going to meet her in a minute. But did you read those? Did you memorise them? Did you ad-lib a bit around the questions?
So definitely a little bit of ad-libbing. We went through a bit of a process. So the first one was behind say I was interviewing you, behind the interviewee my mum would hold up a card and it would have the letters on it.
We used to call them idiot sheets.
Well,
when I first started in TV, we had no auto cues, so there was nothing on the screen like there is now. Because people think we're remembering all this stuff, but it's written on the screen. And they used to have what we called idiot sheets, are about that wide, and we would write whatever it was we had to say, and we'd have to keep one eye literally on the camera and one eye on the idiot sheet. So you had to learn to do that. But it was really important to have people on the side of camera that would be really patient, because I'd be looking there, but I'd be looking there at the same time, trying to make it look like I was actually looking at the camera, but I was really reading the sheet.
Yeah.
So they called idiot sheets because idiots couldn't remember things.
Yeah. After we had our idiot sheet, we moved into a question book. So we'd get I have a lot of notebooks at home, let me tell you.
I saw you with the question book. Yes.
Yeah, so we'd fill up all those ones with questions so I could quickly glance down as I was saying things. And at the point in time where we're working now, I'll read over a question, slip a run-through sheet under my chair and then say it.
So have you got to the point yet that you sort of know what questions you're going to ask in advance?
Yes.
Or is it just handy to have that there?
It's always good to have it there to know what question's next, but there's usually a word that triggers the line of thought in your mind.
Yeah. The other thing is, though, you've got to listen to what the person's answered, because there might be a really good question that comes out of that. So what do you really want to do with yourself as you add all these extra years to your age that you've already started when you were 6? Well, where else can you go? You've already got your own show.
As any kid, I'm not quite sure at this point, but some of the things I really love doing is dancing, acting, creating.
Yes, I saw your show reel with some of the scenes that you've done. They were good. They were really good.
Thank you. I also really enjoy art, so drawing, painting, even a bit of cooking. rollerblading even a little bit. I tried that last Christmas and stuff like that, yeah.
So, but do you have, like, is there something in your mind you think, that's what I really want to do?
I think the best way to put two categories I definitely want to add to my life would be performing in general and creating. Performing, dancing, acting.
Yeah, okay.
Specifically.
Like in musicals or in just straight plays or TV shows?
At this point, I don't really know. I want to see what draws me in at the point in time.
Okay, but you're only 12. You've got heaps of time.
Definitely.
Actually, you got something quite interesting that cameras look for. It's not what our eyes actually see, it's what we can see via the camera. You've got what I'd call a really good face for camera, because you look slightly different to me now than you looked on camera. And that's something the camera does for you that you don't do yourself. And it's not about being photogenic, it's about actually being able to talk through the camera to the people watching you at home and to feel like we know you already.
Yeah, I really think it's about thinking about what you're doing it for and feeling. One of the things I really like to use is imagining there's a little kid on the other side of the screen that doesn't really know what they're doing, and you just think about that one person that you're talking to and have a conversation with them.
Yeah, well, that's how I learnt to do things, that I'm talking to just one person listening at home. Not a big audience, not hundreds, thousands, whatever of people, just one person. Look, we could go on talking all day, but your mother's waiting over there and I think she's giving me the wind-up signal because she's very keen to get on. And we'll be back in a minute to meet Isabella's mum. Isabella is our guest, and guess what? We've got her mum. Sara, welcome.
Great to be here, Malcolm.
It's interesting, when I looked at you both, I thought, oh yeah, I could see that's mother and daughter, definitely. But how did you pick that Isabella had the flair? Because a lot of kids ask a lot of things, you know. Mum, I want to be on TV. Did she ever say that?
No, but from when she was very little, I'd watch her playing. She's being an only child. I'd take her to play groups and playgrounds and do various things, and she was always incredibly kind with other children without any prompting from a very young age. Like if a child scooter fell over and they started crying, she'd pick it up and take it back over to them. Little things like that. And she always had an ability to communicate with her eyes and really reach people.
Yes, your eyes are, it's looking at your show reel, there's a bit where you're doing a bit with the vampire character, and your eyes are fantastic.
Thank you.
It's what a good director will look for, I can tell you now. So how did you pick by 6 that she was sort of capable of doing this?
Well, I always like to have story time with Isabella every night, even from when she was born. I just read to her. And at this point in time, when Isabella was 6, I was reading her inspirational stories, and there was a portrait on one page and the story on the other of each person, and they were doing really exciting things, you know, combating fear and taking on what they wanted to do with passion. And she lit up like a Christmas tree, and she said, "We can do this." And I took a breath, because, you know, you've got to brace yourself. I always like to make it so that anything's possible within reason.
Sure.
No limits.
Well, we keep telling our kids this, so you've got to make it happen, really.
Yes.
You've got to come with the goods.
And I said, yes, we can. And so we got started, and we've all worked very hard and diligently on it in our spare time, because we've got daytime jobs and things like that. So it's very vocationally driven. And Isabella works incredibly hard, like even on the research side with me. We go into it quite intensely, and so that she's got a deep understanding and can draw the best story for the people to enjoy. And so
now, I'm not being rude with this next question, but there are things called dance mums.
Yes.
And there are stage mums.
Yes.
Are you a TV mum?
No.
So what makes you do it? Love for your child, I guess.
I'll go back to my grandparents quickly. Both paternal and maternal grandparents migrated from Europe, started with nothing. they never put, even though they had nothing from the start and worked very hard to get by, they always encouraged us to just be free to do what we wanted to do. And then became with my dad, and he's just naturally entrepreneurial because his mum didn't put limits on him, and this is what we want for all children to enjoy. They don't need to be given anything, but just to not have that limit put on them.
Well, to make it possible too for them to do it, because it would be difficult for a 6-year-old to find a TV crew, a Maggie beer, and make it happen, then edit it and find someone to play it. I mean, that's quite an effort in itself when you think back.
Yes, you wouldn't do what we've done for the sake of being on TV because it would be too hard.
Well, because you're not.
It would be too hard.
It's not you, it's her.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a passion project. It's really.
So, Isabella, when I asked you before about what you'd like to do eventually, when you were a little kid, did you ever dream that this could be something that you'd like to do? When I said, when you looked at yourself on the screen, did you think, I want to be in there?
So when I was little, like most 4 to 6-year-olds, I watched Play School and Sesame Street and all those different things. So I didn't really watch interviews as such, and I didn't really know what an interview was.
Well, it's really just people talking to each other,
yeah,
really.
It's a conversation.
Yeah,
to
so
share
actors
with other
do that
people.
too, but they have a script.
Yeah, so I really learnt about it. When I said I wanted to do something like this, I didn't really know what that was. I just had the confidence that my mum would be able to put ideas forth of the different things.
Well,
like
I can
that.
identify with that though, because I didn't really know what it was I wanted to do. I just know I wanted to do that, whatever that was.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do. I think it actually happens very young in life. You know, the people that really are successful long term, it's there right at the beginning and it just sails through if you're lucky.
Would you think it's for most children that it's at the beginning?
No, I don't actually. I think a lot of people go through life without really having any sort of plan. They just play or, have to go to school, have to learn whatever they have to learn. And when you ask a lot of people even in their early 20s, what is it you want in life? Don't know. Just want to live and be healthy. But it's to have a passion for something. Now, the art side of your life too, that's a passion in itself too. What do you paint or draw?
Well, I was wondering, would we be able to maybe possibly later, but I brought some things to show about that actually.
Sure.
But I'm writing a children's book at the moment called Mr. Froggy, so it's about a frog.
No,
yes.
I can't believe that.
Yeah. And the first one, a little bit of a sneak peek, is Mr. Froggy goes to the birthday party.
Okay.
So I just thought it would be really nice to do something simple, but really be able to put yourself into the artistic side of things.
Well, there's an old saying, if you're going to write about what you know. If you're going to be an actor, be an actor about things you know. So that's how it sort of starts. You've got to start with things you know. It's when people sort of go off on weird directions that sometimes they sort of miss the point of what they're doing it for. Have you ever thought, you said before, you're looking down the screen and you're thinking of maybe another child on the other side of the camera sort of thing. Really, that's the attitude you actually have to have. Talking to your mum, knowing that I used to work with Humphrey Bear, we had a wonderful producer called Ian Fairweather, and he really taught us how to talk to the child at home and made the point that you're not talking to thousands of people like we said before, you're just talking to one person. And if you've got that already without anybody really telling, did you tell her that or did she work that out for herself?
Not at all. And Isabella does acting classes, but she hasn't been told that through that either.
No, very important thing to understand.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, very important thing to understand, because that's what it is. You don't have 15 people watching TV at home. You usually only have one person. And now with technology, it may be just on a phone, and you don't have a crowd around a phone. So when you talk to the people at home and you're saying you're talking to me? You talking to me?
Yeah, I think making it personal for someone draws them in more. When they feel like they're being talked to, they feel a special kind of connection between you and the viewer.
Do you know, you sometimes with people on telly, you know that they're phonies because they're talking to a big audience, but they're not. They just should be talking to you. So it's very personal. And because there's only, for the interviews we've seen, because there's only two of you on the screen usually, it's clear that you're both communicating together.
Yes.
Did you find it hard though talking to adults?
Because I don't have any siblings, but my household's entirely made from adults, so it's not surviving, but having to adapt to the environment of who you're talking to, I guess.
Have you ever been a naughty kid and had to be disciplined?
We all have our moments.
Do we?
It's sometimes when like the eggs come out of the pantry and you don't know about what quantities. I used to be the real baker when I was little. I watched Peppa Pig and I knew that you needed flour, egg, sugar, milk. But sometimes 5 eggs was what I thought needed to go into a cupcake recipe.
Of course they do, yes. Did you have to eat it afterwards? That's the big question.
Yes. I never really liked how it tasted, but I still ate it for trial.
I love it. So you've already done 3 series, and one whole series is almost finished going to air now. What's the plan for the future?
Well, I really want to delve more into people's stories we're inspired by, so we might be looking at a season 4. I'm not too sure at this stage.
Just say yes.
Yeah, okay. But definitely wanting to go into those different creative pathways like children's books. Mr. Froggy's hopefully going to be going into more directions, different versions of Mr. Froggy. And dancing performances. One of my dance concerts is coming up next month.
Well, you're in a good age to do all of those things. Look, I know you've got some things to show us, and we'll be back in just a tick to see exactly that. Our guests are Isabella and Sara Taylor, and we're talking about, what's his name?
Mr. Froggy.
Mr. Froggy. And this is your invention. Beautiful artwork here, I might say, Isabella. And you obviously designed these characters.
Yes.
So I'm going to flip through, to this one. Sorry about that. They're really nice, but you've got some great drawings or paintings that you've done here as well.
So I haven't
Not just a pretty face, you know.
Thank you. But I experimented with some self-portraits. So here's number 1, number 2.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Thank you. And finally, I obviously had to do some Barbie fan art because the Barbie movie is incredible, hilarious.
Nice to know you're actually normal.
I don't like the word normal because...
what would you like to be?
I would like to be original, because if everyone's original, then we've all got things to share. We've all got things to share. I feel normal can be used in good and bad ways, so...
Well, that's true. But actually, we have to understand what normal is so we can be different, I suppose. A bit crazy, really. It's been lovely talking to you and meeting you, and great luck with the show, and how wise to be so encouraging of your daughter. It's almost time for us to say goodbye.
Well, thank you. I've got a long way to go to catch up with 1,700 episodes.
Oh, only 500?
1,700 interviewees.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yes, forgot that.
So...
1,702 now.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. So we'd also like to say thank you very much for having us on the show. So I made you a keychain, and we also got you a box of chocolates.
How did you know I love chocolates? Oh, did you do this?
Yes.
Isn't that fantastic? Look at that. I love that. That is so neat. It looks like it's a print. Oh, what does this say? Oh, that is just delightful. Thank you so much. I love your signature too.
Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Look, it really has been a pleasure to meet you, because I've spent a lifetime working with kids in all sorts of different ways. I don't think I've ever met anybody quite like you.
Oh, thank you.
So great success, and thanks, Mum, for having her in the first place and making us aware. You know, that's just fantastic. So until next time on Our Time, keep yourself nice till then. Bye.